Yo, what's going on, everybody? Cuffin and Dip coming at you guys with another one, guys. How are you guys feeling out there? And as you guys know, we got the Shaman AMA. They did have a Twitter space earlier, kind of going over a couple different things. So we'll touch bases on that again, and a couple new things and some updates that are going on with Shaman as far as the V2 and some cool things that are going on with it. So let's go ahead. Without further ado, go ahead and get our first guest in here. What's going on, Mike? How are you feeling today?
Cuff, how you doing, bro? Good to see you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, man. I'm feeling great. Feeling pretty good. Can't complain about it. So just glad to have you here to explain a couple things. Like I said, I was inside of that Twitter space, so I did catch some of it. But for some of the people that weren't there, we can reiterate on some of that also, and go over some of the things that happened as far as the V2 Shaman contract, if you guys don't mind. Tony said he just sent a message saying he's going to be here in 1 second also. So,
Yeah, sure.
oh,
So tell me where do you want to start with? Do you want to start with kind of the elephant in the room? Do you want to start
yeah,
with
I would have to say probably the bigger elephant in the room. That we can go ahead and reiterate on that one, and then we can move forward and then kind of, you know what I mean, transition into what's going on.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, everybody by now obviously knows we had some issue with LBank with the V2 migration. We had been talking to them for the past, 5, 6 days about this, and the issue centered around how many tokens we owed them to complete the V2 migration. So, we had told, just like the community, we told everybody that anything as of April 6th at 7 p.m. would be the snapshot. That was what we would honor. We would communicated that widely across Twitter, across Telegram. We held recorded spaces. So the community, even members of LBank, were well informed of this. LBank was under the impression that we owed them a lot more. We were kind of going back and forth. So, kind of fast forwarding to yesterday, the 20th, we came to an agreement that on the snapshot date, there was about 5.5 quads of the old contract owed to complete the migration. So when you convert that, it's just a little less than 300 trillion of the V2. We had an agreement. It's a written agreement that we had in our Telegram group chat. We sent in the tokens within 5 minutes, sent them the hash, and we thought we were done. I was very excited. The issue was done. I had a nice memo that looked just like this one on the screen that was a lot happier, ready to send out to the community. And then 4 hours later, they came back and said, no, sorry, we made a mistake. You owe us 129 quads of the old contract, or essentially, if you look at it from a multiplication standpoint, about 25 times what they had originally asked us for. Now, what's interesting about that is when you look back over the life of the contract, we've never exceeded seven quads of tokens on LBank's exchange at all. So we kind of went back to them, and you could see the kind of chat on the screen. That was the agreement we had. It's laid out right there. They came to us, we would hold no liability, that Shaman would answer all questions, which of course we agreed to because, we communicated well to the community. I mean, even if you saw on the 10th when we sold down the liquidity, it looked like a rug pull. Nobody even commented on it because we communicated so well what we were going to do. So it was a bit shocking that this would happen. So, they reneged on it. If you go to the next page, you can see it. Look, everything there is the transaction hash, but then you can see there where they come back and they asked for about 129 quads. And as you can see, I was firing off messages left and right, trying to get them to just work with us and to honor that agreement, and to really no avail. So, we really started digging and we started looking at Etherscan. We looked on the 6th and we had the amount that was shown on Etherscan. And then on the 7th, so that was like the 6th or the 7th, right? You can see it right there. It's about 5.58, something like that. And we were fine to honor that because that's what we said to the community. No problem. That's what we sent in. Even if you look at the 9th, which is the next screenshot where they said they stopped trading, the value actually reduced to 3.8 quads. But keeping the community in mind, knowing what we said to them, trying to stick to our word, we said we would provide the 5.5, which we already did. And then they went on to say, well, no, that balance is wrong too. And then they went to 417 and showed a balance of 120 quads, which is on the next page. So I asked them how this is possible. And they said, well, there's a mistake on Etherscan. And I said, well, that's really not possible. It reads off the blockchain. The blockchain is not a general ledger where someone's, typing it in. These are automated trades that go through with timestamps and have unique addresses on them and unique hashes. It's almost impossible for it to be wrong. And their response to me was, you don't understand CEX. And that's what really kind of prompted us to, at that point it was more insulting because I had done my homework on this and really kind of put a lot of due diligence into this. I don't ever like to put my name on something, especially something that's written, unless I'm certain, because once it's out there and it's written, it's factual and everybody has it. So it was at that point that we started to put this memo together. We felt it was necessary for the community to know. I actually had it ready at about 6 o'clock this morning, but I wanted to allow them another 12 hours to maybe respond. I said, I don't know if I want to go this route. I want to just make sure the information was confirmed at that point. But when I hadn't heard from them, and Tony and I had started speaking, the community was really starting to get antsy, and I felt we owed it to the community to tell them where we were at. So unfortunately, this is where we are. It's not what I would have preferred. It ended off with LBank that they would provide the addresses for us, and we would take care of the airdrop, which to me is fine. At the end of the day, whether I list on LBank, Hotbit, BKEX, or whatever, I'll find an exchange. What's important to me is getting the holders their tokens. If it means me having to go out of pocket and spend the additional money on Ethereum to do the airdrops, we're willing to do that. We just need the information from them. So that's where we're at. As soon as we get that information, the airdrop will be processed within about 15 minutes of me receiving it. I have no intention of holding on to this any longer than I've had to. It's been definitely a thorn in our sides. It's something that I've woke up and gone to bed thinking about for about the last week. And while it's not resolved yet, at the very least, we know what direction it's going in, and we can move forward to a resolution and get back to the roadmap.
Okay, so with that being said, so with the people who are using LBank, there's going to be airdrop to those people. So once they get those airdrops, if you guys are not going to use LBank anymore, is there going to be an issue as far as like the use of the tokens, or will it have to be sent to a DeFi wallet instead?
So that's what we're working through right now. I assume that if LBank is going to provide addresses for us to send tokens, it's going to be addresses that they maintain for the holders, which would not
Right.
be ideal because they might be subject to withdrawal fees, which we don't want to see. Um, it would be kind of hard for us, I'd have to say, to pick out every wallet and go to a different DeFi wallet. If there was a way we could do that or work around the fees with LBank for some way, we're absolutely looking. We would explore that.
Okay. Okay, so that is something that's going to be worked out. So that's something that I know a lot of people were kind of interested as far as what was the action that was going to happen as far as that, because it doesn't sound too much like they're trying to work with you guys, or at least be forthcoming with all the information that you need, and or acting cordial at all. It really seems like. So I didn't know if there was going to be a continued business relationship between you guys, or if it was going to kind of be severed from there due to what was happening right now. So,
Yeah, so I mean, I even asked them. I said, after we migrate, can we still list? We'll handle the migration. Can we still list? And they said, because we can't handle the migration, we will not list you. And I said, okay, well, that's not what we want. We'd obviously want to maintain the business for our customers. We want them to have the avenues to trade how they're freely. I know LBank is available in a lot of countries, and we have a lot of people in the Russia area that use it. So for us, it was really about the access to the platform for our holders. But we did ask them. That was their stance on it. They took a really hard line. Didn't really seem like they want to work with us. So we have to move forward. I have to get those tokens back to the holders, and we're going to get it. We're looking at other listings right now. We are looking at XT. It's someone we're working with right now. Um, that's another exchange. BKEX should be back online about Saturday. I should have an answer from Hotbit hopefully in the next day or two. I've shot them a couple of messages, but I haven't gotten any indications from anybody that this was an issue other than LBank. That's the bizarre thing about this. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So
Okay.
like I said, I wish I had a better resolution for this. I wish it kind of happened a little bit better, but yeah, that's where we are. So like I said, we're going to figure out a way to get this to the holders one way or the other. If I have to do it myself, I will. I have no problem with that. At the end of the day, I don't want anyone to feel like they've lost because of an issue with an exchange.
Okay. And I think that's where a lot of people were because they're looking at the price section right now and they're like, okay, if I had my tokens, it was a possibility I maybe could have took a little bit of profits or whatever situation is, which is why people are mad. Or they're just mad that they're not in the game, period, right this second because they're still waiting on tokens. So that gives them some type of resolution rather than kind of waiting on what LBank is doing with the disorganized things they kind of have going on. So there, as long as there's a resolution for the investor, I feel like everything's good as far as that. So definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean that's all we're working towards, and yeah, I've certainly seen the chart after that space. I had to kind of close my computer and just walk away for a little. Oh, good, he brought it up. Um,
I thought you were asking for me to bring it
no,
up.
it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, you bring it back up. It's okay. Transparency, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody's the thing about crypto and any even investing and trading is you sell first and ask questions later. It's just what it
All right.
is. I expect that there's somebody who's going to receive our information today negatively, and that's okay. That's their choice. We stand behind everything that's happened. We've done everything the best we can, as honest as we can, and some people received it well, some people didn't. For the majority I've seen, it was received well. So yeah, I stand by what we've done so far. Again, I wish it would have come out differently, but we made the
Oh,
best. We made the best of what we had.
I agree. And we just got Tony here also. So let me bring Tony in here. What's going on, Tony? How you feeling today?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
Pretty good, man. Glad to have you in here, man. So just went over a couple different things. Went over the L Bank with the situation with them and what's going on. A lot of people were frustrated with them, but it doesn't look like they're frustrated with Shaman. A lot of the people that understand the situation are frustrated with L Bank, it looks like, and really don't want to. It's similar to the Bitmark situation when they got hacked. Like they're mad at the exchanges rather than the cryptocurrency. It looks like so. It doesn't seem like you guys could have done anything different to change the outcome of this besides what you're doing now, trying to find a resolution to what's going on. At least that's my standpoint on it.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we're gonna do.
Most definitely. So if you don't mind, V2 period, if we can just touch on that so now that we got the elephant out of the room. So you guys changed up the tokenomics and a couple different things as far as the supply, as far as Shaman. And I actually feel like it's beneficial, which a lot of these people are not really knowing that. Matter of fact, before I even ask this question, what are the taxes currently right this second? They're still a little bit higher, right? That 25%.
Yes, we have a 25% sell tax now. That was kind of voted on by the community to kind of extend it a little bit past the launch for about 21 days. But the buy tax is still 10%.
Okay, so the buy tax is 10%, so the sell tax is 25.
Yeah, and then after 21 days, it'll be 10% buy and sell.
Okay, so what's the structure of that 25, if you don't mind me asking?
I believe right now we have it. I think it's like 2% reflections, 3 or 4% LP, 3 or 4% marketing. The highest portion goes to our buyback wallet, which allows us to buy back the tokens and lock them up out of supply. So kind of act like a burn. It was a recommendation we took from Brew Labs. They said in the higher tax periods, you want to allocate it to your buyback because then what you can do is kind of pull supply out of circulation without actually burning it. It's one of the unique features of our contract that kind of allows us to, it was providing a good price floor as you're using it more often. The thing about the buyback and the treasury wallet that we have is you need volume for it to really be effective. So So that's kind of where the most heavily weighted portion of the higher sell tax is. But on a normal basis, if we're just looking at the 10%, it's 1% LP, 2% reflections, 3% marketing, 3% buyback, 1% team dev. Which again, we tried to keep it a little even. Obviously, the buyback and the marketing are the higher points because the buyback will feed our treasury function, and also kind of act like that burn 2.0 that we talk about. And then the marketing side, that kind of goes towards all our, development and marketing of the game and eventually the NFTs. So it's definitely lower than the previous contract. I think the previous contract had a 5 or 6% marketing. So we definitely tried to keep it manageable and reasonable. We know sometimes people will have a little bit of I don't want to say a stain, but people look at marketing wallets when they're too high and kind of get a bad taste in their mouth. So we tried to keep it
Right.
reasonable to the point where it gave something to the project, but it wasn't really taking too much from the investors.
Yeah, I understand that because you have to have enough to be able to do marketing and actually do things with the money, but still keep it low enough to where investors want to invest into it. So that's more than reasonable, I feel like. So I get that portion of it. So as far as that buyback, I brought up those tokenomics right now this second, and I believe you said it's like 11%. I think it is that goes to that buyback as of right now, if people do sell as far as the tokenomics. So that buyback wallet is increasing and increasing just because even though there was a little bit of selling, that's where the buyback gets the most money from currently right now.
Correct.
So wouldn't that be kind of feeding that wallet in a sense? So it doesn't look the best right this second, but once a buyback I feel like is initiated and people start to kind of buy back in, and as buying pressure comes back in, it's going to look a lot better. So I think it's really a long-term thing rather than the short term that we should
It,
be looking at.
exactly. The way the buyback is more of a when to use the treasury wallet is more of an art than a science, right? Like, especially if you understand charting, right? If you have a nice bullish trend going, and you have a little bit in the buyback, you might want to do it to support it. Obviously, if you
Mhm.
see like this big falling red candle that we're seeing today, triggering the buyback would almost be like, throwing a glass of water on a house fire.
Oh yeah,
Um,
right,
it,
right, right.
it would really get muted, right? So now's the time that, from a strategy perspective, you kind of let it accumulate. When you see kind of the bottom come in and you start to rise up,
Hmm.
then it makes a little bit more sense to buy it back. It's also a good, opportunity for us to lock up more tokens for less Ethereum at this point, since we've gone back below kind of where we launched a little bit. I think we were in the high eights the last time I checked, with 10 zeros. So, it's definitely opportunistic at this point. We can certainly pull a decent amount out of supply if we wanted to. So you're right. It definitely does fill up more on the sell downs, but when the tax returns to 10% both ways, it's really going to depend on us getting volume back. So, as much as this LBank issue where I say, oh, we can always list on any exchange, this is where the volume and having that volume really does come into play. So there certainly is a benefit to being on the exchanges, especially as a project. They do give you a bit more volume. I mean, right now our primary volume is outside of Uniswap, which is limited, right? So we'll have BKEX coming live soon. XT will be soon. We're going to be fixing the issues with SataMask soon. So, slowly but surely we'll be getting the volume picked up from other sources. So, yeah, again, ultimately, just to pivot back to LBank, I hope somehow or another we get a message and they come back and say, we're fine, we'll honor it, we'll list you guys, and then everything will be
Mm.
back, and then we'll all be friends again. I'm cautiously optimistic though, but I do have to plan for the future.
Makes sense. Like I said, like I definitely like the in-depth answers that we're getting here, but that was pretty much my main reason for saying of the I mean, it's a little bit of a sell-off, but that marketing wallet, I mean, not marketing, the buyback does fill up, like you said, to use it strategically. Now, of course, not while it's still falling, because like, yeah, you see the buyback and people are like, oh, more liquidity. The people that are selling right now, the momentum that's kind of going right now, people would probably, like you said, kind of eat that up at that time period. So find the bottom, you know what I mean, kind of strategically do things. But the money that's being generated, I feel like, is going to be beneficial. Like you said, more tokens at this price point, and just a lot of beneficial things to it in long term when volume starts to come in, because there's really only Uniswap at this point. So once all of the other exchanges come in, there's going to be a lot more volume and a lot more things going on. So I actually like that you kind of pinpointed and pointed out those things.
Yeah, no, for sure. Again, like I say, we're trying to build a strategy behind Shaman, not only in just the roadmap, but in how we kind of manage this process. We want to make sure that we're using the ammo for the right purposes, right, and not just using it for the sake of using it. So yeah, I mean, like I say, we're nothing's a straight line. We've had a few bumps in the road. This one, like I say, it might not be the ideal outcome, but nonetheless, it's an outcome and we know which direction we have to go in. I think sometimes the worst thing in investing or even just in life is the uncertainty of things. And that's what it was for a good 5, 6 days. There's just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of anxiety and stress of not being able to give the answer to the holders that we wanted to give.
Right.
So again, today's day zero. We move forward from this point. We figure out what we have to do next.
10-4. And to me, like I said, not financial advice to anybody else. I feel like it's a bit early. Game release is coming to a theater near you. NFTs are going to be a thing. Also, the swap and wallet are also going to be things. But as we progress, and as you guys stated, what Tony actually put on Twitter, there are some things that are not even on the roadmap that you guys are thinking about taking care of. So I feel like there are a lot of different catalysts that have not been introduced yet, but a lot that are soon to come. Did you want to talk any on those or throw a little info out on it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we can start with the game a little bit. We had a meeting with our developer this week. I was able to see some additional stills and additional characters that I hadn't seen before. A couple of previews of a couple of the boards you could fight on. A couple of new characters. I saw your character, Cuff. You're looking good on that game.
Word, word.
So kind of the next steps, what I was very encouraged by was this is my first time meeting with the developer, being new to the team. He had a very structured roadmap for how he was going to deliver things in certain phases, and I like that. I come from the corporate world where we everything is very structured, very aligned, project plan based, and that's what he had. So kind of the roadmap we're looking at with him is hopefully within the next, I'd say 5 to 7 days, maybe about a week or so, we should have some additional clips of the video. Then preceding that, we're going to Tony and myself will be part of the beta testing for the game on iOS and Android. So we'll actually be fighting each other and kind of testing the game out. And then from there, we'll provide our feedback to the developers if there's any bugs or any fixes or anything we want to, kind of see enhanced. And then once that's good, we put in the release for the App Store and we're good to go. So I know we were projecting the end of April, just given the compressed timeline and kind of the attention we had to give to the LBank stuff, we're probably
Right.
looking, I'd say closer to like first week of May sometime, but I don't want to give an exact date until we have it. That's just kind of an estimate, just kind of knowing how projects work and pushing things out. So we're hoping to have a firm date hopefully in the next week or so. Once we do, we'll certainly announce it. But to me, it's and Tony, it's most important that we deliver a product that's correct, not rush it out because we put ourselves to some date. If we do that and we put it out and it flops and it goes worse, well then it's another stain on kind of an already a little bit of a rocky road this past couple of days. So we don't want to do that. We want to be very careful. We want to put out a good product. We know games are always going to be evolving. They're going to have updates, but we want to make sure the initial launch is spot on. And once the game is launched, immediately the developer is going to start working on the play to earn portion of it. We will have him contact Brew Labs and work with our contract developer to see how we can implement that. How the rewards are going to be distributed is probably still to be determined. We'll work that out with the dev. Given that this is going to be kind of a fighting game, how I envision it, and this isn't set in stone, but how I envision it is you kind of earn tokens or rewards for winning your match or some milestones within there. Um, and then eventually, at one of the phases, I forget which phase it is in the game, we will be introducing a story mode to the game where you'll have a single player, you'll travel through a journey. It'll really be in depth. And that's something that excites me. I'm a big gamer as it is. I'm a huge Legend of Zelda guy where I played every single one for hours on end to completion. So I love games with story mode. So I think if we can pull that off, we'll be able to put some really unique features into the play to earn portion of it as well.
Yeah, most definitely. That sounds amazing once it gets broke down like that. Yeah, I can definitely see a story mode to that. I will play the story mode, especially if you earn tokens during the story mode. So as far as the player versus player, did you guys break down? So the win on that is just you winning and you get a certain amount, just a certain amount that's already set in stone, or are you betting against the other player, or how does it work as far as earning for that?
Yeah, great question. I think that's part of the details we're going to work out with the dev team and also with the contract writers, Brew Labs, just to see what the best way to structure it is. First it'll probably start with the dev team, the game development team, to see kind of what unique features we can tag the tokens to, and then from there it'll be about marrying that into the contract with Brew Labs. So I expect once this releases, that's going to be probably one of the first conversations we have.
Okay.
We might even start having the conversation sooner if time permits. I'd rather be ahead of the game than behind. So it's certainly something we need to start structuring. But yeah, as we have more information on that, we'll certainly put out an announcement. Like I said, I don't want to announce anything until we know that it can be developed, because we know how this space works or in life. You say something, people stick to it, as they should. If you say something, right, your
Right.
word is on. And then all of a sudden, all of a sudden something happens and we can't deliver on it. That doesn't look good for us. So more to come on that for sure.
Definitely. And Arthur Larkin, staking through Brew Labs is already live currently right now. I think they have a link for it on the actual Shaman page also to get to the Brew Labs platform where you can
Yeah, that's
stake it.
correct. Yeah, so staking went live 24 hours after our launch. If you go to earn.brewlabs.info, and then within that site, you will switch to the Ethereum network, and then you will just search for Shaman. And we have three distinct staking pools. Excuse me, four. We have a flexible staking pool where you can stake on and off as you please with no lockup period, and then three 30-day lockup period, three lockup periods: one 30-day, one 90-day, and 180 days. And you earn in Shaman for your APR. And you also, the good thing about Brew Labs is you still get your regular reflections while you're staking, which is not really common amongst most staking platforms. So you're kind of earning double time. And you also have the option to compound your APR. So let's just say you locked up your tokens in a 90-day pool, right? And
Mhm.
it's about 15 days in, and you see you've earned a certain amount. Well, you can hit the compound button. You pay a small fee, and what it does is it reinvests everything you've earned, and it grosses up the tokens that you're staking now by the amount you've earned. So now you're earning on top of your earnings, and it doesn't add to the tenor of your staking period. So if you did that at day 15 of 90, you still only have 75 days left, but you're staking on a higher amount because based on what you've earned.
Yes, sir. And I not gonna lie, I have been now taking advantage of that. I did have a hell of a time trying to do it with Coinbase wallet. So I did just I sent it to my MetaMask. I didn't I'm just like I'm over it. I'm like I'm just gonna send it because I know there's a way to I know there's a way to do it, but it was just like a tricky nature to it pretty much. You have to like mirror it, but you weren't mirroring it. So
Yeah, it was. Yeah, most people did that. The good thing about our wallet to wallet transfers is there's no tax on that, so you don't get hit by the tokenomics for that. We built that specifically into the contract. That's actually one thing I'm glad we did, because it always used to drive me nuts that if I just sent something to another wallet, I'd have to pay 10%, whatever the tokenomics on something on my own wallet transfer. So that's another kind of benefit to our contract.
yeah, I was definitely loving that once I sent it. I mean, I didn't believe it until I sent it. I know I heard it, I read it, but I'm like, okay, yes, this is my bag. Once I did see a bunch of tokens leave out, I'm like, okay, cool, cool. It definitely works out for me. So let's touch on the NFTs, because I know the NFTs are not too far out. Or what is an ETA on those, or we might see maybe some previews, or what's going on as far as those?
Yeah, so the NFTs, I'd expect the earliest we'll see them is probably summer, so maybe I'd say 3 months from now, anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Obviously, we're going to try to do it a bit sooner. They're going to be unique NFTs. They're going to be very intricate. They're going to be one of a kind. Everyone is going to be unique to everybody. One of the things we're going to try to do, obviously, we'll talk to our developers to see if we can have um, utility of the NFTs within the game to kind of upgrade moves or any skins or things like that that we want to add to the game. So that gives a little bit more utility on there. We're also going to look to have staking of NFTs built in. So it should be pretty cool. We're pretty excited about the NFTs we have. I haven't seen any, I've seen some kind of probably first touch designs, but nothing that's kind of set in stone yet. But yeah, I'm sure once we start the play to earn, it'll either be simultaneously or shortly after that we start doing that.
So, any chance of the NFTs being implemented into like the gameplay at all, or was that a discussion, or is that too much? I don't know if it's something you guys are still in the works with, or not had an idea about it. But I just thought of it as an idea, is really quick. But
Yeah, no, that's certainly an idea actually, and it's something that we've discussed about creating some type of utility within the game for them. Whether you want to upgrade your skins, or maybe if there's like a finishing move you want to use the NFTs for, definitely want to have some use case that's connected to the game. You know, given that Shaman Warriors is our signature game, the
mhm.
goal the goal is to have any initiatives we do kind of center around that and feed back into it, right? The more people we can get playing, the better exposure it gets for Shaman. So, how's the best way to get people there? Incentivize them, play to earn, NFT use case. Any other ways that we can kind of help monetize and then drive value to Shaman too. So that's my goal. If I had it my way, that's exactly how I would do it, and I think that's something Tony and I are both aligned on, at least exploring. I think that would be a great option.
Yeah, most definitely. I was thinking to myself like, yeah, that because that'll make me want a specific one. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Like I need, especially this is the player that I'm playing with. Yeah, I need this NFT, which kind of drives that NFT price up, even possibly the floor price of the NFTs on the secondary market. So I think there are a lot of different benefits to that. So definitely.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see how that ends up kind of breaking down.
Yep. No, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's definitely on our radar. It's definitely something we've discussed.
Yes, Bill, we did touch on the LBank migration a bit earlier. I don't know if you want to run back over really quick for him, but it's definitely definitely if you rewind a bit, it definitely is there. We did not miss out on that part. We did take care of the big elephant first. So
Yeah, we
definitely.
spent the we probably spent the first 5 minutes or so talking about it. So just in the interest of kind of keeping the discussion on the roadmap, if you could just check the beginning of it. Also, if you check my uh, Twitter at ball13, you can see an explanation and kind of a memo from us of really what's going on with that in full detail. And of course, we're available for questions if you have them.
Yeah, and there's the full PDF file documents. This that's probably the most organized incident I've ever seen. It's literally like a work incident. That's how well it's documented.
Cuff. I'll tell you one thing about me, man. Coming from the corporate world, if you want something, your message to get across right, you got to document it clearly. You got to make it concise, and you have to make it accurate. So, like I say, I only put out things I can stand behind 100%. So, we'll see. Here.
Most definitely, like that was a hell of a breakdown. It's like, okay, we go from here, and then like it flowed, like even how you were like telling me it. It's like, okay, and then if you go to the next page, it's like, damn, okay, so you go in order. It literally tells the entire story of what's going on. Like I just liked how it was structured, so that just makes me see that it's very business oriented around Shaman. So
Appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, definitely. So we went over the NFT, so we do have the swap and the wallet that are coming out. Also, I know that's a little bit further along. What is it, like phase 3, I think, or so that it was
Yeah,
on?
that'll be quarter 4 of this year. So anywhere between September and December, probably, or October and December, more than likely. Obviously we could start it earlier. We will. We will be using Brew Labs to kind of build our wallet swap combination. Certainly, we'll be on the Ethereum blockchain. Not sure if we're going to have I mean, I think the ultimate goal is obviously to have a pair to Shaman if we can. Everybody kind of has a wallet with an Ethereum chain, but those details will work out as we go. Whether we're going to just do Ethereum, whether we're going to do a bridge in there with BSC, the possibilities are endless. I think the best part about working with Brew Labs is, and especially I've noticed this from the contract, is they tailor make everything to how you want it. They'll ask you if you want this, if you want that, and literally our contract was not one that anyone has. It was, maybe the percentages might be the same, but the structure of it was exactly how we wanted it. Little tweaks here and there, even up until like, a week before we announced everything. We were still making changes on it. So I'm excited about what the wallet and swap function will be. And how it's going to come out because I think with them and their expertise, particularly on the BSC side and us being on the Ethereum side, I do see the potential for there to be a bridge for other tokens in there to be utilized, which will be the ultimate goal. We want to make it not just Ethereum based, right? We would love to have it on other blockchains in there that kind of feed in there with a bridge.
Okay. Okay. So that's definitely something to look into. Then I see that you guys have some things about media marketing campaigns, which I did see that right after the V2 launch, there was a billboard in New York that was going off, which is quite flashy and looked like it was catching some attention. So is there any other marketing players that are coming soon?
Yeah, I mean, we are working with a couple of different firms that we're looking into right now. Like I say, obviously everything took a back seat to the events of the past week, but always looking for ways to increase our exposure. I think the greatest exposure we've gotten is from a lot of our community members have really stepped up and kind of did what I did and a lot of other people did. And, when we first came out and we were connected to projects, it's just as community members helping educate other people, helping spread awareness around Twitter. So we've gotten a lot of good organic marketing just from within the community, which is great. That really shows that we're building kind of that momentum behind the community, and we start there. But yeah, I think with marketing, we want to be selective, right? There's marketing of people who have followers on Twitter and things like that, and then there's real like boilerplate marketing where you're out there and you're on billboards and you're in certain things. So to me, I think the latter of that is the one where you want to be very careful and structured, because it can be costly, but it also can be very lucrative if you get the right firm. So we are certainly doing our due diligence on that. Like I said, having just relaunched a week ago or so, we're still kind of building up everything for the marketing, and we're going to try to do it selectively. But yeah, I think it's key to get out of the online space as much as you can too. I think the online space is great, but Twitter and Telegram and certain websites are limited, right? You have your same, you're not seeing the organic user growth that you saw when these platforms first came out. They're kind of
Right.
mature. So you want to get to places that are a little bit more immature, in a way to say, is in growing and more spots that you can get eyes on things. So definitely trying to look for different avenues where we can get our name out there.
Okay, okay. And something that just came to my attention. Well, not just came to my, I seen it and I actually been meaning to ask about it. I don't know if it was came with an update, but I'm seeing it says Shaman King Inu blockchain. So you guys are looking into doing your own blockchain technology, is it? In the metaverse universe. So pretty much this own metaverse and blockchain also.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be probably after the wallet sometime, I would say. That's going to be probably a lot more work, and a lot more understanding. It's not particularly my area of expertise. Maybe the blockchain side is a little bit more, but the metaverse, I'm not too, not the Hopefully this will give me enough time to brush up on it. But yeah, I mean, look, we know that the metaverse is coming. There's no mistake when you look out at the big companies. I mean, Facebook changed their name to Meta. All these companies are looking at the metaverse. There's people are selling land in the metaverse for astronomical amounts of money, which I've never seen before. So it definitely benefits us to kind of explore that. So yeah, I would say that that's probably more of a 2023 initiative, more than this year.
Okay, so that kind of, I mean, those things kind of speak to me because I know blockchain technology is not anything easy, but it's definitely something that people are starting to really adapt to, and people really want to look for those lower gas fees or lower transaction fees, period, so that they don't have to keep dealing with it. And people like the BSC network, but they're not the biggest fans of it. There are other networks to use, but they're generally not as used as the Ethereum network. So having other options out there that are maybe you know what I mean, catch people's eyes and takes flights definitely would be a good option to have. So that and the metaverse, I don't know what's going on with Tony Phone. Man, he's been back like 5 times. So I think this is the sixth Tony we'll see tonight.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right, Cuff. It's like, you look at like Solana network, right? A lot of people are moving NFTs over to the Solana network.
Yeah,
Super cheap, but it's not utilized as much. I think it's only going to be a matter of time, right? I think what's going to happen is, Ethereum's obviously the most popular because it was kind of the first one out there after Bitcoin, and it's
right.
so widely utilized and so widely established. It's easy. Over time, I think personally, this market is Ethereum net blockchain is going to get flooded with the NFTs. It's going to drive up prices even more, and eventually, you're going to see a natural attrition. because your cost benefit to doing an NFT on OpenSea on the Ethereum blockchain is probably going to rise, is probably going to reduce over time as more people adapt in the mainstream to blockchain and to cryptocurrency. So I think it'll take time. I think eventually it'll get there. But I think being early on it is definitely key.
Okay. And something that I wanted to ask also, just because there's a new contract, I know it was done by Brew Labs, it was tested. So are we going through those same audit processes as far as like tech rate, safe solidity, and I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now. Sorry, damn. I don't know why I couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
All right.
That's okay. Yeah, no, our intention is to get independent audits done. Even though Brew Labs did the contract and they technically are contract auditors, it's almost like you're checking your own homework, right? We don't want to do
Right.
that. Even recommend an independent audit too. It's not that we don't trust them; they've been fantastic. I love the team over there, but it does make sense to have a second set of eyes on it, and I think it adds a little bit more validity to the contract, and it'll give people a little bit more sense of security.
Yeah, the only reason I asked is because the original contract went through three different audits, and I didn't know if you guys were just because I feel like that made a lot of people, like you said, feel safe about the contract, and it's been checked by three different sources, and it just feels solid from there. So I didn't know if you guys were going the same route, kind of doing multiple different audits, kind of to make the community feel better about investing into the contract. No, it's not a rug pull, anything weird like that. Everything's going the way it's supposed to. You can look through the audits and see all that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever we can do to put more validity out there and make the community feel safe, we're happy to do. And I think it's just it's good measure. It's good checks and balance. It's good for us to hang our hat on and say we've done our due diligence on our contract. We're not just trusting what was given to us. So yeah, absolutely. We're gonna be seeking out those three.
okay, okay, 10-4. So I definitely would like to see that because I know right now on the website it does say that those were already done. That's because previously, so I'm pretty sure you guys will probably be. Is the roadmap going to get re-updated at some point, or is it going to be revised pretty much, or what we looking at with that?
Standard parts of the roadmap, like the game, the NFTs, the swap, things like that, might remain. But I think yeah, a lot of these things will have to get removed around a little bit. Remove the audit, remove the holder count, things like that. Which should be a fairly quick update. So yeah,
Yeah, that's nothing big at all. Period. I was just curious, just so we can keep everybody as far as investors on the same page. Let them know, you know what I mean. Audits are on the way. I mean, there was a V2 contract that flipped to it, so that's why the information did change. So just so everybody knows, I think
absolutely.
the tokenomics were updated. Though, I think, or
Yeah,
were they?
yeah. We just got to get a. I think he's just got to get a call out bubble for the. Let me just look at that here. Oh no, he did update him. Good. Oh, that's good. He did listen. Great. That's awesome. I didn't know that they were updated yet. Good. That's perfect.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just looked at. I'm like, yeah, it looks to be updated to me. Got the auto buyback in there. Like I said, one of the best features that I have seen as far as the contract. So Brew Labs is really killing the game as far as that and implementing that and kind of like you said, like tailoring it like a suit. So I do like those features to it. So
Yeah, and we'll
yeah,
probably get the white paper. This was kind of the old video of the game. Hopefully, we'll have some new clips out for you. That was kind of one of my biggest requests to our developers. I said, look, guys, we got to get, this clip's a great clip, and I love it, and I watch it over and over again. I even show my kids it.
mm,
But we've also had it out since January, and that's fine. People want to see something new. We get that. They're excited. I don't even think it's about. I don't even think it's fun. I don't think it's anything. I think it's excitement. People have seen the potential of what this game can be. They've seen the preview of it, and they want to see more. And I don't blame them. And as a project, someone managing a project, that's what you want to see.
yeah.
So if you're asking for it, we got to give it to them. So I've stressed that, and hopefully we'll have something soon to show the community. I want to see something soon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely want to get down with that with those characters in there. There's one specifically that I've been just I have a hankering to use them and just a man '04 has been talking a lot of mess. So that's another reason why I asked about the how are we gonna get rewards because I would love to take I want Justin's tokens. I don't want your tokens. Like I don't want tokens from the game. I want Justin's token. I want him to put
Yep.
up like a couple billion tokens and be like, hey, all right, come on, we're gonna go ahead and do this, and then he can watch the tokens all go to my wallet. Like you have to put a feature where you see like each individual token like going to the
Yeah.
wallet.
I think that would be. I think that'd be really cool. You kind of before the match, everybody like you agree on a set amount of tokens that you play for. Um,
Uh-huh.
the other person accepts it, and then you connect your wallet or something like that. I think that's a really cool feature.
That would be so dope. The competitive nature that would build
Oh,
behind the game, and people, I think some whales might get created.
I know. Imagine like two guys playing for a quad or something like that.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah, but I think that'd be something that I would watch though. You know what I mean? Like if they screencast that and they were playing for a quad, I would sit there and watch to see who will win that. Just I mean, so much is at stake. It's a good game. You're watching it, you're having fun, and it's good publicity right there. I feel like
Oh,
that would
absolutely.
be fun.
I think you just gave me an idea. So I think I'm definitely writing that one down, and I will give you full. If we get that, I will come back on here, and I will give you full credit for that.
Hey, that would be amazing. I would love to see it. I feel like the competitive nature of that like would drive it in itself just because everybody's gonna want to play because it's like everybody's gonna want to beat the next person
Oh,
or
absolutely.
just earn more tokens.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Absolutely.
yeah. So all of you people that are good gamers out there, perhaps practice on a Mortal Kombat game near you. Get your kicks and punches in place. Might be able to become a whale depending on what the outcome is of them actually doing the rewards of the game. I want to see how that plays out now.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. I'm excited about that. I'm already starting to think. Now that I've got that one idea, I want to think of a couple other ideas. But that is Cuff's idea, everybody. I am not stealing it from him. He will get full credit.
Yeah, I'm cool. Though. I literally, I'm just like, okay, yeah, that sounds like something decent. But another thing I wanted to touch on, and then I'll see if you have any other updates you want to go over. But I do know that you guys put in the request to get on Coin Market Cap. Has there been any progress with that at all? Or
Yeah, I actually spoke to them tonight. One of the guys that we're working with, they need some type of API built in. I guess it's something that kind of feeds in our supply automatically, so that way it can update on the website. It's something Brew Labs has to update. It generally takes 48 hours to build. It could be a little bit longer, so we're hoping that if we call it 48 hours from now, and then it's built and over them, I'm hoping early mid next week. I was really hoping for this week. But then he kind of dropped this API request on me last night. So is what it is. That's what they need. It's perfectly fine. We'll give them what they need. So hopefully we'll get that squared away soon.
okay, because I know this is another thing people love to see. They love to go to their wallets and be able to see a total. They
Oh
love
yeah.
to be able to see that Shaman logo next to it. You know what I mean? Give it a little bit of razzle dazzle there inside of the wallet. So that and being on Coin Market Cap, once you do that, I feel like that does add a little bit of volume. Also, kind of lets
Oh,
people
of
know, hey,
course.
you're here. So
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. Yeah, no, we're all for that. I want to see value. I want to see what's going on too. So yeah, we're certainly working through that. Everything's kind of in motion. Like I said, I want everybody to understand this. Just because we kind of worked on LBank and we gave it a lot of attention, we have been working on other things simultaneously. Simultaneously, just because one thing is going on doesn't mean the machine stops. We keep going where we can. It's just that LBank consumed a lot of our time. Um, but we are still pushing forward with the game efforts, with kind of just overall strategy of how we're going to build into the roadmap. We're certainly planning every day. I know my mind doesn't stop going and trying to think of ways that we can make this roadmap and not only deliver on it but make it better than what it was. So yeah, we're pushing hard over here.
okay. So do you have any more updates or anything that you want to say to the people before we get out of here? I feel like we pretty much touched on a lot of different subjects as far as tokenomics, roadmap, what happened with LBank, V2 launch, tokenomics, buyback, pretty much everything that I feel like is really critical and a lot of different things that are up to come for Shaman.
Yeah, no, and thanks again, Cuff, for having us on, and to the community again, just a really big thank you. Tonight I was expecting to come onto that space and just get absolutely roasted, and I was ready for it. I was as the dev on the team and as the team member, we take the wins and we also take the losses, and we have to stand there and take the heat. And I was greeted with such compassion and understanding, and support. I was absolutely moved by it. I really was. It was really comforting to know that people still had our backs, regardless of the fact that the chart is dumping, regardless of the fact that the LBank situation is what it is, regardless of the fact that the migration maybe wasn't as smooth as we would have liked it. Um, it's really it's really comforting to know that that's the community we have behind us, and that drives me to work even harder. I was energized after I left that space. I called Crypto Alert after that, and I said, "Wow!" I said, I felt amazing, like how we were greeted there. That was just something else. And that reminds me why we're out here doing it, because at the end of the day, like, and I said this in a space the other day, we were doing a community mashup of Cryptobolics, and a bunch of other devs. I said, at the end of the day, we're all humans, right? We sit here and we put on a brave face and we smile and we talk and we do the thing, but we go back to that time when you're kind of thinking about everything. So knowing that people have your back, people that have barely met you are putting their trust in you, is the biggest compliment I could get. So just a huge thank you to the community.
Most definitely. Since Tony did make it back towards the end, Tony, do you have anything to say before we got out of here?
Yeah, no, I just want to say, you know, we appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we're gonna continuously work day in and day out as we have been doing since day one. Um, and I think that we're for sure going to, recover this because me and Mike, we're not giving up. We will never give up on Shaman.
10-4. I like the way that sounds. So, guys, we have wrapped this one up. If you're not already following the Shaman Twitter, definitely need you guys to do that. Follow Shaman Twitter. So pull up a couple Twitter accounts really quick that you should be following. Shaman King Inu is the at Shaman Token is the actual name on there. So there's one that you definitely want to be following. Then we go to Mike's page. This is the man with the plan right here, man. I'm definitely a well-spoken guy. Definitely knows how to break down some things. So definitely follow this guy because I have not heard well thought out breakdowns like that in a while. So definitely appreciate his process of letting you guys know what's going on. And if you scroll down, his pinned tweet is showing you what's going on with LBank. For the person that did ask that question, you click on this and literally scroll through and read it like a story. It literally tells you exactly what's going on, why, who did what, the amounts, percentages. I feel like, and it may be some phone numbers from old phone books also that he has all stacked and ready to go. But he has everything ready to go, man. I'm telling you, this is that's a well thought out process right there. So most definitely tap in with that. And last but not least, you definitely got to follow this guy. Was here for like 39 seconds, but it was the coolest 39 seconds that I've had with this guy. Follow Tony, the CEO of Shaman. So as you can see, Rise of the Shaman, that is the actual name. So definitely tap in with those accounts, guys. And I appreciate you guys for coming out and enjoying this time with us and getting this information. Other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of your night out there and keep cuffing that dip. We're out here.
Thanks again, Cuff. Talk to you later, bro.